Fascinating report from Disneyland today. New Orleans Square with thoughts on when the Haunted Mansion will be ready. From Fantasyland, where we'll talk about the new changes coming to the DAS system and some surprisingly light crowds and short standby waits. We're going to every land and every attraction. This is our State of Disneyland report. One of the best moments of the day here at Town Square is when the Main Street vehicles return to doing their tours up and down Main Street after a performance. All of the vehicles have just come out all at once. What a magnificent view and scene this is here at the top of the Disneyland Railroad Main Street station. The view is the same, but just slightly different. A little bit of color here has been added to Town Square. They're starting to install the Pixar Fest adornments a little early. We still got another couple weeks before that begins. And that's the scene that we're setting here as we begin our State of Disneyland report here from Disneyland on this Friday afternoon. It's about 12:45 as we record this, and I'm once more thrilled and excited to be able to bring this show to you guys, to catch you guys up on what's happening around the Disneyland Resort. My favorite thing to do is just to walk around the park and tell you guys what's up. With that, let's head down to Main Street, walk down the street, do a little vibe check, and then we'll get into the meat of the show. It's so great. You actually don't often see all of the Main Street vehicles here at Town Square all at once. Usually they're in some state of being up or down Main Street, but you've got this horseless carriage, you've got the omnibus, the horse-drawn streetcar, and another horseless carriage. Where's the fire truck? I don't see the fire truck. It's not here. But you got 4 vehicles right here on Town Square. Delightful. Oh, look at that. The boss is here also. Hey, Mickey. Where's he going? He's not sure where he's going. You got Mickey. I just saw Cruella pop out here from backstage. Chip, entertaining guests. It's just what Disneyland is all about. Just show up and have magic brought to you. All you gotta do is show up, and they just deliver. It's great. It's a bit of a overcast day, obviously. You can see weather's about maybe mid to high 60s today. No sun, no heat. But as I mentioned, we've got color. We've got Pixar Fest banners, bunting, and some medallions. There's Disgust, I think. Sully, I think that's Ember up there from Elemental. This is it. That's all we've seen so far as Pixar Fest, but they're getting started a little early. This is considering we're just a couple weeks away. Or still a couple weeks away, I should say.
I know you.
Hey. They don't get this started early even for Christmas or Halloween. Hi. Better head right. There's the horse-drawn streetcar. Another. So there you go. It's about 10 minutes to 1 as we head down Main Street. Feels kind of, typical here. It's not busy, not crowded, but not slow either. Look at that queue for the Silhouette Studio. It's been like this since they've reopened. Very popular. I don't remember it being that popular back in the day, to be honest. I don't remember the Silhouette Studio being that popular. Do you? But as we make our way towards the partner statue, I'm feeling a very happy, energetic, glad to be here crowd. A little light, and that's my expectation for today. Is that it's going to be certainly less busy than we saw last or 2 weeks ago, or even a month ago. Something that I'm expecting something like what we saw at DCA last week. But before we get into that, let's go back to the Disneyland Railroad Station at Main Street. Take a look at that tip board. As always, we'll start with a single-day ticket calendar, which looks remarkably better than it did last time we were looking at this. It actually looks kind of standard. You can buy a ticket. You can walk up to the ticket window today out here in the Esplanade and buy a ticket if people still did that kind of thing, and walk into the park today at 1 p.m. this afternoon. The only really blip that I'm seeing on the calendar right now is that DCA is sold out on the 21st, Sunday the 21st. Again, that's one of those anomalies where I'm trying to understand that because it's prior to Pixar Fest. That doesn't start until the following weekend. Not sure why DCA is sold out for single day tickets next Sunday, or not next Sunday, but 2 Sundays from now. That's interesting. By the way, one thing I should note, one of the reasons why we thought the park was way busier than it normally would be in February and early March was the $50 ticket, the discounted ticket for kids. That pass. There is a discounted ticket sale going on right now, the usual SoCal resident ticket. They're selling a 3-day discounted ticket right now. You can do that right now. You can buy that ticket and get a 3-day pass at a discounted rate. That's happening right now. So I don't know. I don't see that having any sort of visible effect on crowds. We're going to find out in a minute. But I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be that busy today. So we'll see about that. But that is available. We'll look next at the Inspire Key, which, like the single day ticket 2 weeks ago, it was a very bizarre calendar last year. I could not get in the park last week. I was I don't want to say blocked out, but all the reservations were taken for a solid week. I tried very diligently to get a reservation throughout the week, could not. So I was actually out of the park for almost 10 days, I want to say it was. This is the first time I've actually done a report from Disneyland, aside from the Season of the Force video, the Star Wars video, which that was a reservation I'd had it for a while. This is the first time I've been in Disneyland since the last State of Disneyland report. That's something, you guys. And it's not for a lack of trying either. I tried to get in, I could not. So one visit in 2 weeks. That's a lot, or I should say that's very few for me. This calendar looks a little more typical. Sold out today, sold out tomorrow, sold out Sunday, 12th, 13th, and 14th. And then the usual weekend bookings, but weekday availability for the Inspire Key. That's pretty standard. Into May, we're getting a little bit more of the usual stuff. We got some sold out days for Saturday and Sunday, so 4th and 5th. And then it gets a little bit more blocked out for the 11th and 12th the following weekend. That's very typical, very common. Not unusual at all for that to be the case, especially when there's Enchant Key availability. Having said that, we're looking at the Enchant Key calendar now, and they are in fact blocked out for those Saturdays. So we've got blocked out Enchant Keys for Saturdays, and it's still sold out for Inspire Keys. So that sounds like, again, we're hitting that max number. That's a max number that Disney wants to get to. Meanwhile, the parks, well, we'll see. It's Friday today, but the parks aren't exactly at peak capacity these days. So it's another one of those interesting situations. I tell you what, one of these days, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to understand why Disney doesn't want more Magic Keys at the park. Even though they're selling Magic Keys, they're still advertising that out here on the entrance. That they want you to upgrade your tickets. And there's been a lot of advertising, I've been told, on Instagram and other social medias. Disney is pushing Magic Key sales right now. So if that's the case, if they want to sell more Magic Keys, then they need to make more days available to us, I would think. Let's just make that happen. Let's get into the rest of our show. And look at that, there it is. There's that Pixar Fest color we were talking about. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, hey, all right. I'm excited for Pixar Fest. I'm happy that it's happening. The food looks fun. I'm looking forward to taking part in the festivities, seeing a new parade. It's been a minute since we've seen a parade at DCA. Should probably save that for the DCA report, the State of DCA, but and the fireworks here. But I kind of prefer my Main Street being natural and unaffected. That even means like other, like 4th of July and other things. I mean, Christmas is great, Halloween is great, but I do love a natural, normal Main Street myself. This color kind of sticks out a little bit. As I walk down the street, it's a little too overt for me. But then I'm, a Disneyland purist, so I don't know if I'm exactly the voice of the common man on that. But I am looking forward to. Hi guys. And I'm looking forward to Pixar Fest. Stay tuned, obviously, because Disney or Fresh Baked will be covering that in detail. I wonder if it'll be possible for us to eat all the food. We do that for Food and Wine. There's a lot of food, guys. Have you seen that foodie guy? My gosh. And it's not just at the dining locations. They're going to have Food and Wine type marketplace kiosks. That's wild. Okay, we're enough tangent. Let's get into our first stop, Adventureland. This is what we do here during the State of Disneyland reports. We go to every land, every attraction, and we tell you guys what's happening as we go around the park. Adventureland, it is. I don't even have to get through this threshold into Adventureland to tell you that this is light. I can already tell. I'm feeling no pressure whatsoever. It's not at all urgent walking through here. I can freely, oh my gosh, I can freely move about. What an interesting start to our afternoon here in our State of Disneyland report, our first land, first attraction. And I have a feeling this will be our narrative as we make our way through the park. It's just not gonna, this is not the day. Hey, how are you? I mean, I have a hard time walking through this part of the land normally. Standby right now for Jungle Cruise is 20 minutes. And that looks about exactly right. There's just a brisk looking queue at the top left, but nothing happening at all on the top right. So Jungle Cruise is looking good. Indiana Jones, not so much. It's still 60 minutes standby right now, as that's posted anyway. Let's just take a quick walk back here. That's not unexpected though for this to be the case for Indiana Jones, even on a slow day, for it to still be busy, because this is, oh yeah, okay, so they've got standby right here. That's not a good sign. But yeah, this is one of those attractions that no matter how slow it is, it's still gonna be busy. Radiator Springs Racers, Rise of the Resistance, the Matterhorn, that kind of thing. The super popular rides are still gonna be busy even on a slow day, because people are gonna make time for this attraction no matter what. But that is one full queue back here, my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. And standby, hey guys, how are you? Standby's looking a little sticky. I don't see a lot of movement back here. That's not a good sign. I see a collection of lightning lane back there. They're starting to form a queue there, so that's probably not the best scenario for these folks in Indiana Jones. I don't know if I would get in this queue. This is a no-go for me. Hi guys, see you.
Mr. Method was awesome.
Thank you guys, thank you. Yeah, on a day like today, that's probably a no-go for me. I mean, dude, it's hard to hit Indiana Jones, and it's hard to predict a sweet spot. It's hard to hit it at the right time. Pretty much, it's one of those attractions where if you want to go, just go. Just get in the queue. The good news is, for those who are doing standby, is that there's a very early mix point. It mixes at the temple entrance, which means once you get there, it's pretty much the same as if there was no lightning. So there's that. And we'll make our way into New Orleans Square, where I have a feeling, look, by the way, I say I have a feeling, that feeling is based on the fact that there's nobody here on the bridge right now. Get in there. I was gonna say, I have a feeling we're not gonna have a big wait for Pirates, obviously. If there's no queue in the bridge, then standby is gonna be a cakewalk. In spite of that, it's still posted at 25 minutes, which suggests to me that they've got some lightning lane influence, but there's just hardly any kind of queue here right now for Pirates. Look at, right? This is usually a choke point for crowds. This is usually a point where it's difficult to get through here even. You can't do this normally, right? This is usually closed off. If you want to get into, the Royal Street, you got to go all the way down to Tiana's Palace and make a U-turn normally. But today we just kind of cruise right through here. But that tells me the fact that they still have a 25-minute wait. I don't know who's yelling at me, but hi guys. If they still have a 25-minute wait, then that means they must have some kind of lightning lane presence. But even that doesn't look too bad. That queue, that number is Not accurate. Hi, guys. It's a very busy day for Fresh Bake today, too. 25 minutes does not sound right at all. This is super light for Lightning Lane, for Pirates. Look at how briskly everybody's moving in here as well. Look at that. That's brisk. You love to see this. That's not only moving, that's brisk. I would have said this was a go anyway, but looking at that, even that 25 minutes, you're looking at maybe 15 minutes there. Maybe 15 minutes for Pirates right now. Not bad at all. And now we can just move freely. And this is everything is going so well. We have had such a hard time navigating this part of the park for the last couple of months, and this is kind of nice, kind of breezy. Look at that, you guys. There's Mount Gracie is still back there, still making itself known, but they've got a dirt mover perched on top of the pile of dirt back there. That's wild. Okay, that's our construction update for the day. I want to see how far I can take this path. Last time we were here, we talked about how they moved these walls, well, actually in, not out. Oh! Wait. There's 2 lanes of traffic now. Right here at the churro cart is where these walls dead end, or last 2 weeks ago. They stopped, they were out here. So it looks like they pushed this back section back as well. We had to go down the steps to get past Haunted Mansion into Critter Country from here. Now we have another path. Look at that. That is great. Well done, Disney. Well done. You know, as I contemplate this situation here with the walls being pushed back in towards the mansion, creating 2 lanes of traffic now, that is a very good sign, you guys. That's a very good sign, a very positive sign about how on time they are with the Haunted Mansion. We talked about in previous updates about how it looked like they got a long ways to go. They're still digging. But, then I remembered, it's not like they're building a new ride. They're just building a break room and an elevator. So even though they're still digging as of last week, and there's still a Mount Gracie back there, once they've wrapped that, which should be close, it wouldn't take long for them to restore to build out the new queue and to restore the space between Tiana's Palace and Haunted Mansion, and to create that new arrangement. It wouldn't take long for them to install that. I can imagine a scenario where they will definitely be done in time for August 23rd, for the reopening of Halloween and for the Haunted Mansion. There may even be a chance that they open up the attraction early in July or something like that. There may be a chance where they do that. They're not going to open up, that space here, the space behind me, in the queue. That may not be ready, but the attraction will be. If they could just clear out, if they could finish what's happening there in the front lawn in the next couple of months, what is it? It's April something, so yeah, by July, give us a month of, because that's what I'm saying. They closed the Haunted Mansion with the Nightmare overlay, and then the idea was that we may not see the Haunted Mansion again until January, because by the time it reopens, it'll be Halloween again. I think everybody is just dying for a chance to ride the vintage Haunted Mansion attraction, even if it's just, there's a possibility. I think it's like maybe 20%, but there is a chance. I feel like they're ahead of schedule. I feel like things are going well enough. They're in overtime. Disney is aware, I'm going on. Disney is aware that everybody is impatient with the situation with Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, Pirates, what this is doing to the Pirates standby queue right now. They need that break. And especially if their plan is to continue selling Lightning Lane for Pirates, because that would be a disaster if that kept going. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm just saying, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave the door slightly cracked for that to happen. That we might get proper Haunted Mansion in July, before August, and then but everything will be up and running by August 23rd. With that, I'm gonna take this path. I'm gonna take this walk. Leave it to me, you know, a social engineering nerd, to get excited about the fact that walls have been moved and now we can walk peacefully on this side of the, you know, the planters right here. On this side of the planters, everybody used to have to go down there. That excites me. That makes me happy. Glad to see that. Very encouraging sign, you guys. Meanwhile, Splash Mountain next door. I keep saying Splash Mountain still. Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Hope you guys watched our construction report, because I was reporting feverishly on the activity here on these trees. I got to watch them actually install little leaves. In fact, they're still doing it. That guy right there is putting in leaves on that tree. Another thing that gets me excited, another thing that makes me happy, is seeing love and care being given to an attraction. Individually installing leaves on a tree. That's great, man. I love it. Critter Country for now is still open, but it will be closing soon in May. Closing so that they can update Briar Patch and Pooh Corner back there into, what is it? I forget what it's called now. Lewis is something or other. Oh wow, this is kind of intense for Critter Country. I see a 5-minute wait though. Oh no, never mind. There's a no-minute wait. The attraction's actually closed. Why can't I move through here?
It's closed.
Hey. Where are all these people coming from for Critter Country? I don't know, man. Yeah, it looks like it's about ready to reset. They're testing vehicles, so that attraction will be up any minute, I'm sure. And with that, there's probably not a lot to report on back here at Critter Country, other than, man, I just cannot stop looking at construction. I'm gonna have to go back. I saw some guys up there. Now I have to go investigate. I know we're doing a State of Disneyland report, but I'm still in construction mode because I shoot these on the same day. I shoot construction and State of Disney on the same day. What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Am I seeing that? It looks like they did some ripping and tearing back there on the other side of Tiana's tunnel. I don't remember looking like that before. They are definitely doing some demo up there. He is cutting. You know, I've never done a queue update from the canoes, but I was on my way to Galaxy's Edge and I happened to notice, I was looking to see if there were any canoes launching. There are 2 people in the canoe queue right now. There are 2 guests. That's gonna be a lonely canoe when they get that thing going finally. But they got that one full okay. Gosh, look at how wonderful this is. Can we just, oh, she took a wide turn. They don't normally go that wide. Normally they hug the island a little bit. That is a wide turn. If you guys ever do have a moment when you're making your way through the park on your way somewhere, do try to take a minute to observe scenes like this, especially if you've got some boat traffic, which we don't have at the moment. But there's always just 30 seconds or 60 seconds for you to observe the natural beauty of the rivers of America. My favorite thing. Stop and smell the roses, as they say, right? Don't be in a hurry. Be in a hurry some of the time, but then some of the time, don't be in a hurry. Let's go to Galaxy's Edge. By the way, I hear a lot of people asking, I use that music that you just heard right now in my videos a lot, background as background, I should say. And people ask me all the time, what is that music? I can't find it anywhere. Just search for Galaxy's Edge music loop on the YouTubes, and you should be able to find it. But that's the music, is the music that they play as you walk through the 3 entrance tunnels on your way into Galaxy's Edge. Okay, so they're in section 2. That's it. Section 2, not too bad. It's moving a little bit. This place is beautiful. Galaxy's Edge. It's beautiful. I love it here. They really did a good job. Even though it was like 70% of what they were hoping to do, it's still great. Posted wait time says 60 minutes, just like Indiana Jones. As I mentioned, Rise is still the attraction that is going to draw guests no matter how slow it is out there in the park. But the good news here is that there's nobody in Lightning Lane. Just that one guest right there, and that's it. 2 more walking in here. But nothing happening here. 60 minutes for Rise is a win. If that's just what you get, if you get 60 minutes. I feel like that's still not too bad. But with no Lightning Lane and the back of the queue in section 2 like that, you're looking at maybe 40 minutes for Rise of Resistance right now. That is a go, go, go. Season of the Force is happening right now here at Galaxy's Edge and in Tomorrowland, which we'll be getting to later on in this show. We did a video on our basically just about everything except for meeting Sabine. That was the only thing we couldn't do, was meet Sabine. Kind of meh, kind of underwhelmed a little bit by Season of the Force. Not a lot of food, not a lot of merch, not a lot of special activities other than the usual, hyperspace mountain overlay for Star Wars month as they did last year. Basically, it was the same thing as Star Wars month, maybe even less. This might have even been less than Star Wars month, because I feel like there was more food last year. I feel like we did more food for Star Wars month than we did for Season of the Force this year. But having said that, we still had a great time. Liz and I did. We did all the, the Star Wars attractions and ate all the food. Check that video out if you did. We had a great time. We had a lot of fun.
Careful. Here we go. But how? No one can say that. We apologize. We'll pay for that. Thanks to you. Thanks a lot. You try my patience. I wouldn't do that. Move aside, civilians.
For now, we'll keep this party going. Head down to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, where I expect we'll find the story to continue. Just not as busy as it normally would be. And there, in fact, we are looking at a standby wait time of 35 minutes. Not busy at all. Normally I would park here and watch the crowd and see how many are going in standby and how many are going into Lightning Lane. I don't feel like there's enough guests to do an informative survey on that. Not to mention that 35-minute standby is attractive enough to draw guests into standby, which here's the only guest that we've seen so far. Normally there's a pretty steady flow of guests heading into the attraction, whether that is Lightning Lane or standby, but just the few people so far. Wow, that's kind of surprising. There's a lot of people out here. There's a fair amount of guests just kind of milling about. That could be Season of the Force, people just sort of partaking. Here's some more. Oh, they're going right. Okay, those guys are going right. Right. There's a couple less. And a couple more less, maybe. Single riders, that's a good option. Of course, single rider means automatically you're not going to be a pilot. You're going to be either an engineer or a gunner. No chance of getting pilot on single rider. Just for fun, we'll also look at the window up here. This is the one spot where we can see you know, what the vibe is in the queue, and I see people leaning up against the glass. Not a good sign. That 35 could be attractive enough to draw a lot of standby guests in there, creating a little bit more backup. They are, oh, there we go. Now they're moving. All right, that's something. Yeah, I feel like maybe the season of the Force is the reason why we're seeing actually more guests than usual. Not even just for a slow day, but even for a normal day. This is more guests than you normally see just strolling through the land. We've often, you know, commented about the fact that this land does not have the same vibe. You know, when you walk through here, it's often very chill here, even if it's busy out in the rest of the park. But we're getting kind of an opposite situation on this visit. It's a little busier than normal, while the rest of Disneyland is a little less busy than normal. Oh gosh, here we go. We got Kylo and Stormtroopers again.
It's an encrypted signal, sir.
Silence!
That didn't go well. Thanks.
Liar!
Apologies, sir.
I've heard enough.
I wouldn't do that. Your allegiance is appreciated, citizen.
And that's why I love Stormtroopers. In the whole Star Wars universe, the Stormtrooper might be my favorite thing. Just the way they look, the art, the aesthetic, and they're funny. They're the stars. Hi guys. They're the stars of Galaxy's Edge, in my opinion. Down with the First Order, up with the Resistance. Let's go to Fantasyland. Yeah, this is a breeze, you guys. Walking through Fantasyland right now. This is pleasant. Very, very pleasant. This is really like the ideal situation. Not dead. Dead is bad. But not so busy that you can't enjoy yourself. Busy enough to keep everybody happy. Wow. Easy peasy. Pinocchio is nothing. I don't even know where the back. Oh, there it is. It's inside the threshold. That's pretty good. That's maybe 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Look at you guys. Come on. This is Fantasyland we're talking about here. A land that is just nothing but choke points everywhere you go. Look at. Snow White, they got a sign out here that says 15 minutes. That's about right. That's an easy 15 too, if you ask me. Hi guys. Even Peter, oh God, okay, we just had a whole show. I spent so much time talking about the madness that was Peter Pan. Was that 2 weeks ago or was that a month ago? But I mean, just look at that. I walked by here this morning at about 8:45 and it was a 20-minute wait for Peter Pan. It feels like it hasn't gotten much worse since then. This is the lightest I think I've seen Peter Pan in recent memory, for this time of day at least. It is presently 2:07 in the afternoon. I mean, it's posted at 40 minutes, but it's not 40. That says 40. But there's all kinds of empty queue in here. They're not using half of that out there. And I would be willing to bet back here on the corner, they're not using this back corner back here, right? Nope, not much here at all. Got lots of room here in the Peter Pan queue. Yeah, man, that might be the most go I've ever seen Peter Pan since I've started doing State of Disneyland reports. Because I usually come by here at about the same time in the afternoon. Usually it's like 2 or 3 o'clock, peak time. That's the goest I've ever seen Peter Pan, man. That's incredible. And still more wide, well, not wide open, but certainly more open than you would normally see here in walkways out here. All kinds of visible, wow. Toads is probably posted at 20, okay, it says 25. That ain't 25, that's 15 right there. Where, you know, this threshold, at the end of this right here, normally it's about 25 minutes at the gate, where guests are just walking in right there. So you're looking at maybe 15, 20 minutes tops on that. Dumbo, 25 minutes. You know, what do we normally see here? 45, 60 minutes for Dumbo, typically. And when that's the case, you'll see it back here, all this full. They're running at about maybe half of the normal queue size, maybe 2/3 at best, 2/5 maybe. Oh man, it is a delight. It is a delight out here right now in Fantasyland. Well, everywhere, really. I mean, this narrative has been maintaining itself throughout the day. We've had a couple of outliers, Indiana Jones at 60 minutes. I mean, you can't even count Rise because it's posted as 60, but that wasn't 60. That was a 30 or a 40-minute queue. So, wow, it's just kind of light. And I wonder, again, if there's, you know, anything that we can attribute that to. You could say spring break, I guess, that it was spring break before and it isn't now. But, I mean, there's spring break every year. There's always a spring break. I don't know, man. You know what I got to do? One of these things, one of these days, I feel like I want to take, because I've been doing these State of Disneyland reports for a while, and just take weeks, individual weeks, and do a year-over-year comparison, and just see how different it is year over year. If I can learn anything from that. Looks like we hit something of an outlier. This looks busier than Peter Pan, or at least closer to its normal state with these two switchbacks out here. This is a 40-minute queue. This is 40, and I don't think Peter Pan was. I think Peter Pan was 30. Whereas that says 30. I mean, it could be, I guess. We've certainly seen it much worse. But standard, the typical queue for Alice in Wonderland is right about where they are. Where the back of the queue is where the sign is. Sometimes it comes out here. Obviously, it wraps around monorail, and it wraps around towards the restrooms here, which is a bad day. Mad Tea Party is practically a walk-on. That might be 2 rotations. You could probably fit most of this queue, most of it, in one set of teacups. Story continues here at Storybook Land. It's a decent-sized queue, but that's 15, 20 minutes at most, I think. Golly, downright pleasant. Which actually, now that I'm thinking about queue sizes like that, and you know, whether or not it's busy and how it is for the guest experience, it reminds me that we do have a fairly major story on the books this week. Disney has announced, confirmed, that they are going to be making updates to their DAS program, the Disability Access Service, the service that gives people who have, you know, who aren't able to wait in a queue physically. You can get, you know, the DAS pass, and that allows guests to sit out. They wait the 45 minutes for Haunted Mansion or Indiana Jones or whatever. They wait that time, but they do it somewhere else. They don't do it physically in the queue. And there has been, well, Disney is basically confirming, they are coming out in the open on this, that it's becoming misused, it's becoming unmanageable, overrun. There are too many people using the DAS system per Disney. So they're going to make some changes to that program. Pull over for a minute here to get a little peace and quiet while we finish this conversation. The reason why it's being misused or abused is because it's considered to be, it's viewed as a free alternative to Genie Plus. People are trying to find ways to get into the DAS program so that they don't have to pay $30 per guest for Genie Plus. And for good reason. It's very similar. It's quite similar. There are differences, obviously, and it's not exactly the same, but I can see how people can make that connection. I've been asked a lot since that announcement if I feel like it's, what my thoughts are on that. And we did a video on this topic on Fresh Baked Presents where we did sort of an objective review on it and the reasons why we thought it was happening, and if the situation is as bad as it seems. Cliff notes, it's happening in our opinion because of paid Fast Pass. People are more incentivized to try to find a loophole to get out of paying for Genie Plus. And it's not only is it as, I think, as bad as Disney is saying, I think it might even be worse. I feel like Disney doesn't want to say it's as bad as it really is because that makes it look like they don't have the situation under control. So they want to put the alarms up. They want to get people, thinking about it and worried about it, and they want to get to put the message out that they're going to start cracking down. I don't know if that's possible, to be honest. I really don't know if that's possible for them to legitimately crack down. I think they're just hoping to dissuade people from trying in the first place. But I hope it does. I hope it does improve things a little bit, because when you combine Genie Plus with DAS, and because all those guests use the same queue, the Lightning Lane queue. And this applies, by the way, just to Lightning Lane attractions. DAS gets access to all the attractions. They just go in through the exit on non-Lightning Lane attractions. But when you combine those two, it really makes it difficult for standby guests who are doing neither. And while I understand that guests who are paying for it should get priority, they should. If you're paying for it, you should get priority. And guests who have a disability of some kind should be considered and taken care of also. It feels like it's the standby guest, the average guest, that has to pay the price for that. At least that's the opinion, the thoughts of a lot of guests. Personally, I'm not bothered by it because, A, I don't ride a lot of attractions anyway, and I'm usually looking for the path of least resistance. That's always been the case for a lot of annual pass holders like myself. We're not too bothered by, a long queue, because there's plenty to do here, and we just find something else to do if that's the case. Be that because of Genie Plus or what have you. But I feel like Disney feels more motivated to try to do something about the situation, because they're also now hearing from the people who are paying for it. They're hearing complaints from people who are buying Genie Plus and waiting in what are objectively long lines for Lightning Lane. They've paid the extra $30 and they're not waiting as long as standby does, but they're not getting right on either. I've heard anecdotally that DAS represents about a third of the people that are in those Lightning Lane queues. I don't know what the answer is. Who am I to say what should or shouldn't be done? The only thing that I can say is that I feel like everybody should feel valued. Everybody should. Be that, disabled guests, people who pay extra, and standard, regular standby guests as well. They want to feel valued too. That's why I feel like there should be some sort of compromise for those guests. And something that I mentioned in the video that we did on Fresh Baked Presents is, if Disney could just find some way to make those standby guests get just a little bit, just a nudge. One free Lightning Lane per visit on a single day ticket, one free Lightning Lane per day for Magic Key holders. That's what Knott's does. I get one fast lane per visit at Knott's. You gotta find some way to make the full paying everyday guest feel as valued as anybody else. I guess that's the thing that I would want to try to make happen as much as possible. I still want everybody else to be taken care of. I do want the DAS guests to feel valued and be taken care of, and I do want Hey, what's up? Hi, Aladdin. There's a band coming. Where are they going? We'll go check that out in a second. But I do feel like that the people who are paying extra should get some kind of good treatment because they're paying for it. You should get it. I just want everybody to feel wanted. That's all. I gotta go now. The Pearly Band is taking over this stage. That's the Pearly Band. There's Aladdin. He just walked by me earlier and said hi. I don't know how to get out of here now. I guess I can walk in front of these guys. Toontown is next, thankfully, because that's a very difficult conversation to have when you're trying to be objective and fair and all that stuff, and it's a very divisive, volatile topic. And certainly I don't want to say anything that would upset anybody. So happy to be in Toontown once more. Ooh, this is looking kind of busy in here a little bit. Are people starting to show up finally? We've seen this happen before where I say like it's dead all day, and then by the time we get to Toontown, things start to pick up a little bit. This would not be the first time that's happened. It just occurred to me that we haven't done the tip board yet. I mean, I did that intentionally because I wanted to have lunch at the Troubadour, and I was going to do it then, but then we didn't shoot. I had my lunch at the Troubadour, got a baked potato, but I forgot to do the tip board. So let's go up here into Goofy's Play Yard and look at that tip before we start looking at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Roger Rabbit and all that. And here we go, Alice in Wonderland, 25 minutes, that's pretty standard. Astro Orbiter, 25 minutes, that's pretty standard. Autopia, 15 minutes, nice. Return time in a half an hour, also nice. Big Thunder, 30 minutes. That's pretty great, actually, you guys. That's pretty great. In a return time of an hour and a half-ish. That's continuing our light narrative here. Buzz Lightyear, 15 minutes. Wow. Return time of now. You can get on. Wow. Now. When's the last time? We don't see very many nows these days. Casey Jr., 15 minutes. And that is in spite of it running just the one train. Gadget's Coaster, 30 minutes. We'll check on that in a minute. Dumbo is still holding at 20 minutes. We walked by there earlier. Nemo Subs, 15. Space Mountain, 55, and that's with hyperspace overlay. That's Season of the Force, 55 minutes. Look at that return time of 7:15. Contrast that with the fact that when we did Season of the Force on Friday, mind you, that was opening day, but when we did Season of the Force on Monday, or Friday, the return time it was like 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30, the return time was 11 p.m. Indiana Jones, 50, with a return time of just 5 hours. We've seen that often the case where by the time we're doing this tip board, it's 10 or 11 o'clock. Small World is a walk-on. And a return time of now, Jungle Cruise, 15, golly. Tea Party, 10 minutes. Winnie the Pooh, 5 minutes. Matterhorn is just 40 minutes, wow! 40! Return time in 3 hours though. Runaway Railway says 35. We'll check that out. Return time of less than an hour. We did this report 2 weeks ago. The return time was like 6 hours from now. Smuggler's Run is still light at 40. It was 35 when we left it. Return time in 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Toads is 20, Peter Pan 30, Pinocchio 10, it wasn't even that. Pirates is still light at 25 and return time of now. Incredible. Where is everybody? Roger Rabbit is, okay, there we go. That's 50. You know, it seems like every time I do these reports though, Roger Rabbit is closed. Return time in an hour and a half. Snow White is 15. Star Tours is a virtual walk-on. 15 minutes, and that's Seed of the Force. There are new scenes, you guys, on Star Tours. There are new scenes and new, you know, hey, save the spy guys, Cassian and Ahsoka. And it's still just 15 minutes today. Rise is down to 40. I called that, by the way, if you'll recall. 250 return time of now. And that's it. Wild. More of the same, right? The story continues. I have seen no change, no anything to suggest that we're having anything less than a not busy day. And as I mentioned previously, I can't really pin this on anything in particular other than this is how it should be. And then the other days were busier than they normally would be for those had the reasons, you know, be that food and wine or spring break or, you know, a $50 ticket or something like that. But this is more of your normal state of things, how things are today. I think that's the best thing or the closest thing I can come to in terms of an analysis, a summation of how things are going today, how things are going at the park right now. It'll be curious to see what happens in a couple of weeks when Pixar Fest begins, if that's going to make any sort of difference. People are showing up for Minnie's house today, though. That's a decent queue. It's posted at 20 minutes, but I mean, it could be, I guess. Mickey's. 45 minutes to see Mickey. Pretty standard. Gadgets is posted at 30. I can't even see the back of the queue. Is it even open? Yeah, it's open, all right. Where are the guests? If they're calling this a 30-minute queue, where are the people? Because 30 minutes should at least be the frogs over there, right? Where's the back of this queue? This is not even. This is one of the few times where I'm like, this is a go. It's a go at Gadgets. Actually, Gadgets goes pretty quick. In spite of the fact that they only run on the one train, it does go pretty quick. The guests are still walking. The back of the queue is right about where that U-turn is. Right there. That's the back of the queue right there. That's nothing. That's 5 or 10 minutes maybe. Go, go, go. Go, coaster. Oh, we're gonna get a close-up. This is exciting. Okay, the big loop. They went through Chippendales. And here we go. Oh. All right, it's awesome. I love Gadget's coaster. It's like the world's best roller coaster, in my opinion. And I don't normally come back here into the park, but there's nobody here. I don't think I've ever seen this before either, where there's literally nobody. See how easy it is to cut through this part of the street. This is always the hairiest part of going to Toontown, is this little street right here. That's not too bad. That only took a second. We still gotta check Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Well, the good news to start with, that it's open. That's always a thing to consider when you're going to the Runaway Railway. It's posted at 40 minutes. Let's see if we can't find the back of the queue. It certainly is a good sign that we haven't found it yet. When was it? Was it last time? Railway, like Pirates, has been feeling the effects of Lightning Lane, Genie Plus lately, where there's just been some crazy long waits here, and the queue's sticking out the back. We found the back, and while not dead, it's still light. I mean, dead would be somewhere in the prop room in there, but that's still pretty light. That's probably 40 minutes ish, anyway, because as I've said before, 45 minutes is right about the door, right here. When the queue gets to the door, that's about 45 minutes. So it's probably closer to 30, 35. All depends on Lightning Lane, as usual. Checking in on Roger Rabbit's next. It's posted at 40 minutes, which is a minor miracle in and of itself. Lightning Lane looks pretty busy, actually. But for some reason, Roger Rabbit has been an attraction that draws a lot of Lightning Lane guests. We're just gonna sneak in here real quick and see if we can't find it back in the queue. Ah, there it is, right around the corner. Oh no, that's not it. That's the dip area. Still looking. Ah. There you go. This is about where we found it before. That's not bad.
If you ain't got the password, you ain't coming in. So straight.
You know what I haven't seen today? In fact, what I haven't seen a lot of recently is attractions just down, like because they broke down and they're, you know, waiting to come back up. Well, we did see Winnie the Pooh was closed. It's back up, but I feel like I may have to like pay more attention to this. But that was a problem for a long time. Is that, you know, ride breakdowns were happening just routinely and all over the place and constantly. But I don't feel like it's as big a problem today as it was maybe 6 months ago or maybe even a year ago. I haven't really been paying attention to it closely, but that's a conversation. Have they gotten better at keeping rides up? Because that sure seems like I have not, just Winnie the Pooh, and that was just down for a minute. Interesting. Normally I would jump out here and check out Small World, but magic happens is happening. But we did see on the tip board earlier that it was a 5-minute wait. I don't expect it to be much different than that. And that would be very consistent with the rest of what we found today. Could be the parade effect now, as I think of it in terms of why Matterhorn was so light, but now I'm seeing that it's not light at all. Ooh, this is a go, you guys. I don't even have to look. Okay, so right now, nobody's in the Lightning Lane queue, right? I don't even care where standby is right now. In terms of the back of the queue. It's posted at 60. You need to get in this queue right now. You need to get in this queue right now. Because look, it's already happening. Because the parade is happening. People are starting to filter in. It's going to be over in a minute. And they're all going to jump into this queue. But for the next 5 minutes, you've got yourself an opportunity to get ahead of some of the standby. Lightning Lane is going to start showing up though. They'll show up as well also after the parade is over. You know what? Oh, no, sorry, monorail. Pay your respects, Fresh Bake. It didn't honk. I would say maybe even 10 minutes ago might have been better, because Lightning Lane will show up here in a minute. But right now, if you're in this queue, you're going to get yourself a little bit of a bargain. Posted at 60. This is pretty dense, though. Good for, you know what? Matterhorn. I say this a lot, but I mean it. There's an arms race happening, you know, in theme parks right now. Everybody's trying to chase Epic Universe and Universal and making the biggest, bestest, newest, funnest thing. And, you know, look at the second most popular attraction right now in this park is this old grandpa right here. This 60-year-old attraction is the second most popular attraction in this park right now, pulling a 60-minute wait. Hey guys, hi, how are you? Take that to anyone who is yelling and creating urgency for Disney to come up with something new and great to compete with Universal. I've said before, man, they ain't gotta compete. Disneyland, right here, right now is the best park to be in the world. I mean, I know I'm biased. I don't care. I don't care whatsoever. You can't argue with the fact that this place is awesome. It's awesome, and it's the best it has been and will continue to be without even trying hard because of rides like the Matterhorn and Pirates and Haunted Mansion. I don't want to hear about you putting Tron in here or what Zootopia or Avatar, whatever. I mean, hey, all right. I wouldn't shake my finger at putting Avatar in the park. I'm just saying they don't have to. That's what I'm saying. This place is just fine. This place is great without it. Nemo, meanwhile, is empty. Wow. That's maybe 20 minutes right there. Maybe 20 minutes. By the way, I should add that the second most popular attraction at Matterhorn is, the first isn't Rise. Today, the first most popular attraction that I've seen on the tip board is Indiana Jones. Rise, the newest attraction, Rise, is the third most popular attraction today. Which brings us to Autopia at 3:17 p.m. Posted at 5 minutes. Which it's not. It's more than 5 minutes. I mean, it's not bad still, but it's not 5 minutes. 5 minutes would be, up there somewhere, but the queue is back there. I don't see much in the way of lightning lane, and I don't see anybody in the rotunda. So it's a pretty straight shot. Not a lot of competition. Nice day for a ride in the park. I ain't ever gonna shut up about Matterhorn. I'll say it from the top of the Matterhorn. Hey, how's it going? What's up? I'll climb the top of that Matterhorn and I'll shout it. Good for you. I'm still saying it. I'm here in Tomorrowland and I'm still gonna say it. Matterhorn is awesome. And that's in spite of people saying, it's too bumpy. Still an hour wait. Oh my gosh. Hyperspace Mountain is on at Disneyland. The attraction is open and it's 40 minutes. Matterhorn is beating Space Mountain today, right now. Matterhorn is beating Rise. Matterhorn is beating Space Mountain. It's not beating Indy. What else is there? It's beating Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Oh, that's the newest attraction. That one's like 5th right now. It's 6th maybe. People love the classics. Give us more of that. More of that. I don't know how you do that. Don't make it IP based, maybe. Let's start with that. Let's start with not fixating on having everything IP based. I mean, I get why they do it. Synergy, right? And I couldn't say that I'm smart enough to understand the math on, how the dollars work out on something like that. By the way, we're gonna go check the back of the queue. But I'm sure that there's a associated value to that synergy on the bottom line, when you have merch, et cetera, to promote and movies to promote on D+ and stuff like that, that it's helpful in the in the big picture to have an IP associated with an attraction. They cross promote, as it were. But, one of the oldest, longest truisms about Disneyland is that the best attractions here, the most favored attractions in the park, are those not based on an IP. Haunted Mansion, Pirates, Space Mountain, Big Thunder, Monorail, Disneyland Railroad. None of that is IP. I'm not saying, I shouldn't include the Monorail or Disneyland Railroad. Those aren't super popular. But the first 4, for sure. I don't know how you reconcile that. I don't know how you create more attractions that aren't IP based. Because I feel like the attraction is the IP. You could sell Space Mountain merch. There's still some People Mover merch. The attraction is the IP. Why can't they figure that out, I guess? And there's the back of the queue. It's somebody's birthday in there somewhere. But that's not bad. It's posted 40, back of the queue's right here. On our way out, we'll check the Lightning Lane, see how bad that is. But that right there tells me there's probably nobody in Lightning Lane right now. It's moving. I mean, I gotta move at some point, but normally you move just a couple bodies at a time. You know, in the Space Mountain queue, you don't move, you don't stream like they're streaming. They're sending 10s and 20s worth of guests through standby instead of 4 or 5. When an attraction is super busy, the ratio gets jumped. The mix of standby and Lightning Lane, where it's sometimes where it might be 5 to 1, it jumps up to 10 or 20 to 1 or something like that. So if you see a queue moving like that, you know, big chunks of guests moving, it means that they've sent 15 or 20 guests through the mix point instead of 4 or 5, as I just mentioned, because they're sending mostly, because the mix is, you know, increased in the favor of Lightning Lane, which we'll look at right now, which presently is virtually empty. There's just 2 guests right there. Nothing here. I mean, they don't often get out here, but normally you'll see at least, you know, or when it's busy, the Lightning Lane queue will stick out into this area here, but just a smattering of guests jumping into Lightning Lane right now. And again, it's Season of the Force. It's Hyperspace Mountain right now. That usually creates an uptick in Lightning Lane use. As I mentioned when we were here for Season of Force, it was for 7 or 8 hours from now. 10? No, it was 10. It was 10 hours late. Trying to remember what the standby was for Astro Blasters when we checked that tip board. I want to say it was 15 minutes. Okay, nothing. No Lightning Lane at all. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not 15, it's 5 minutes. This is the entirety of the queue. We're looking at it right now. This little bit right here, and then it makes a U-turn, and it jumps right, oh my gosh. I mean, it's probably not 5 minutes, it's probably 10, but still, this might be the smallest Buzz Lightyear queue I've seen in a very long time. Wow, they're not using any of this. Incredible. That is it, right there. Astro Orbiter has a longer wait than Buzz Lightyear right now. That's just fine with me though. I am part of the Astro Orbiter fan club. I'm a new member. Star Tours. Probably gonna be about the same. We saw 15 before, and it's posted at 15 again, but again, there's no queue. They shut the doors. There's nobody here. They're entering the queue right here, and they're going right into the building. This is giving me definite summer vibes. Do you guys remember we went through that whole period during the summer when the park was virtually dead? And we were just like, what the heck is going on here? Summer should be super busy. That 3-month stretch during the summer was one of the slowest stretches I had seen in recent memory. This is giving those kind of vibes. And yet it doesn't feel that way. Look at this. Guests are here-ish, I guess. I mean, no, I take that back. I've seen a lot of cases where, as I mentioned to you, you can see a lot of pavement out here. But I mean, that looks like, it feels like it would be a lot. It would be the casual visitor might see this and go, oh my gosh, it's packed. But, you know, it's not even. Not even. What's up, Walt? Mickey? Get ready to wind this show down in our usual spot in Frontierland. Where, what did we see on the tip board for Big Thunder? It was like 30 minutes, if I recall. 30, practically nothing. There's some aesthetic Frontierland for you. And then they put a trash can right in the middle of the walkway like that. I don't know if, I feel like that's a practical joke. That can't be real. There must be some kind of reason for them to do that. Well, we found Big Thunder, posted 35. That's along 35 if it is, because they have started to move this queue out here into the Rancho Park area. Ooh, wow. Well, that's going to change. They're changing that soon. That's going up. That's going to go up to 40 or 45. Wow. Okay, so yeah, we're finally starting to see it. It could be that some of that we've been seeing is parade effect, although the parade ended a half an hour ago. But that 35 ain't going to last on that board. Matter of fact, by the time I shoot my outro over here somewhere, hopefully we're going to find that wait time no longer exists. There's your standby. Just kind of post a little bit too. They're not moving much. That's the reason why the queue has been growing. It's because it hasn't been moving. So you're getting a steady flow of Lightning Lane. And then, as guests come into the queue on the other side over there, because this queue's not moving, it just keeps getting longer and longer. Mark Twain just pulled into the Frontierland station here. Man, what a day today. What an interesting day. I thought it was going to be light. I thought it was going to be slower than usual, but not as slow as we found it today. I mean, we had our State of DCA report from last week to sort of set this up for us. But this might have even been slower than that, even. Just kind of really surprised. Low waits all over the place, light crowds, very little anxiety or pressure or urgency happening anywhere in terms of the crowds. Kind of delightful, actually. Kind of delightful. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did as well. Let us know your thoughts, though, on the things we talked about. What do you guys think about my commentary about the Haunted Mansion? You guys think, is that possible? Give me your thoughts also on what we talked about in terms of the DAS changes to the DAS Pass. And what you think is the reason, why are the crowds so light compared to what they were just a couple weeks ago? And don't say spring break. You gotta give me some other reason besides that. Let us know in the comments below. And then if you enjoyed this show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. You can also follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.